Have you ever looked at your credit card bill, seen that tiny minimum payment amount, and thought, phew, that's manageable? It feels like a lifeline, right? A small, easy step to stay on top of your bills. But what if I told you that this helpful-looking number is actually one of the most clever traps in personal finance? Today, we're diving deep into the minimum payment trap, how it's designed to keep you in debt for years, and most importantly, how you can break free from it for good. Stick around, because this information could save you thousands of dollars and years of your life. First, let's be clear about what a minimum payment is. It is the smallest amount of money your credit card issuer requires you to pay each month to keep your account in good standing. On the surface, it seems like a great feature. It prevents late fees and protects your credit score from taking a hit due to missed payments. For someone facing a tight month, it's a temporary relief valve. The problem isn't making the minimum payment once or twice in a genuine emergency. The trap is when making only the minimum payment becomes a habit. Here is the core of the issue. Minimum payments are calculated to maximize the interest you pay over time. The formula is often a small percentage of your total balance, say 1% to 3%, plus the interest and fees accrued that month. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you have a $5,000 balance on a credit card with an 18% annual percentage rate, or a PR. A typical minimum payment might be calculated as 2% of the balance. So your first minimum payment would be $100. Sounds okay, right? But here's the kicker. That month the interest charged on your $5,000 balance is about $75. So out of your $100 payment, only $25 actually goes toward reducing your principal debt. The other $75 just pays off the interest. So how long would it take to pay off that $5,000 debt by only making minimum payments? Brace yourself. It would take over 20 years. And during that time, you would have paid more than $7,000 in interest alone. That's more than the original debt itself. You essentially paid for your purchases almost 2.5 times over. The bank or credit card company, on the other hand, just made a massive profit from a relatively small loan. All because the system is designed to stretch out the repayment period for as long as possible. The minimum payment isn't a tool to help you get out of debt. It's a tool designed to keep your balance alive and generating interest for the lender. Now, let's talk about the psychology behind this trap. Why do so many of us fall for it? It comes down to a cognitive bias known as anchoring. When we see that small minimum payment number printed on our statement, our brain anchors to it. It seems like the suggested or normal amount to pay. It feels manageable and safe, reducing the immediate financial stress. Paying $50 feels a lot less painful than paying $250, even if the latter would save you a fortune in the long run. Our brains are wired to prioritize short-term comfort over long-term financial gain. The credit card companies know this. They leverage this psychological quirk to their advantage, making that small number look like an easy way out, when in reality, it's an entrance to a long, dark tunnel of debt. This effect is compounded by something called debt-to-income paralysis. When you look at your total debt and compare it to your income, the figure can feel overwhelming, even impossible to tackle. The minimum payment offers a false sense of control. You think, okay, I can't clear the whole thing, but at least I can make this small payment. I'm doing something. This feeling of taking action, however small and ineffective, is psychologically comforting. But it's a dangerous comfort. It's like trying to bail out a sinking ship with a teaspoon. You're busy, you feel like you're helping, but the ship is still going down. So, how do you escape this trap or avoid it altogether? The first and most crucial step is a mindset shift. You have to stop seeing the minimum payment as an option unless it's a true one-time emergency. Your new goal should always be to pay as much as you possibly can above the minimum every single month. To do this effectively, you need a plan. Start by creating a detailed budget. Track all your income and expenses to see exactly where your money is going. You'll likely find areas where you can cut back, even just slightly. Maybe it's a few less takeout meals, canceling a subscription you don't use, or brewing coffee at home. Every single dollar you free up can be thrown at your credit card debt. It might not seem like much, but even an extra $50 or $100 a month can slash years of your repayment time and save you thousands in interest. Once you have a budget, you need a debt repayment strategy. Two popular methods are the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. With the debt snowball, you list your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate. You make minimum payments on all of them, except for the smallest one, which you attack with all your extra cash. Once that smallest debt is paid off, you take the money you were paying on it and roll it over to the next smallest debt. This creates a snowball effect. The psychological win of clearing a debt quickly can be a powerful motivator to keep you going. The debt avalanche method is mathematically more efficient. With this strategy, you list your debts from the highest interest rate to the lowest. You make minimum payments on all debts except for the one with the highest interest rate. You throw every extra dollar at that high-interest debt until it's gone. Then, you move to the debt with the next highest interest rate. This method saves you the most money in interest over time because you're re-eliminating the most expensive debt first. Which one is right for you? It depends on your personality. If you need quick wins to stay motivated, the snowball might be better. If you're purely driven by numbers and want to save the most money, the avalanche is the way to go. The best plan is the one you can stick with. Another powerful tool can be a balance transfer. If you have good credit, you might qualify for a balance transfer credit card that offers a 0% introductory APR for a certain period, often 12 to 21 months. You can transfer your high-interest balance to this new card and pay it down aggressively without any new interest piling up. But be careful. There's usually a balance transfer fee, typically 3% to 5% of the amount transferred. And you absolutely must have a plan to pay off the entire balance before the introductory period ends. If you don't, the interest rate will shoot up and you could end up right back where you started. If you're feeling completely overwhelmed and can't see a way out, don't be afraid to seek help. A reputable nonprofit credit counseling agency can work with you to create a debt management plan. They may be able to negotiate with your creditors for lower interest rates and a more manageable monthly payment. Just be sure to do your research and choose an accredited agency. The minimum payment trap is a perfect example of how financial systems can be designed to work against us. They prey on our psychology and our desire for an easy solution. But by understanding how it works, changing your mindset, and creating a solid plan, you can take back control. It won't be easy, and it requires discipline. But the freedom you'll gain on the other side, freedom from stress, freedom from interest payments, and the freedom to use your money for your own goals, is absolutely worth it. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Your financial situation is unique. So please consider consulting with a qualified financial professional to help you make the best decisions for your circumstances. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt caught in the minimum payment trap. I'd love to hear your story. See you next time.